Hello everybody, it's your boy Skipx here with another video for you guys here today, and what we are going to be talking about is 5 series or franchises that deserve to have a fighting game. These are just my personal picks depending on the stuff that I personally like and I think would do very well. With that being said, I do really enjoy fighting games and I want to talk more about them on this channel, so with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. Starting off with number 5, the Fate series. Fate is a series that spans across books, shows, movies, and so many more mediums, but originally did start out as a game, as a light novel with Fate Stay Night. With that being said, it is a part of the bigger Natsuverse, which includes characters from Melty Blood. So a lot of you can see where I'm going with this. If this game was to be made, I would want it to be made by French Bread, which are the people who developed Melty Blood and are currently working on Under Night In-Birth. But eventually Under Night In-Birth is going to hit a point where they're going to stop working on it and it's going to be time for them to work on something brand new. And why not return to something somewhat similar with jumping into the Natsuverse once again and using the Fate franchise. And talking about jumping into that universe, that means we could also possibly get some of those characters from Melty Blood possibly thrown into this Fate fighting game, but it will stay focused on the Fate characters like King Arthur, Gilgamesh, Archer, and many others that we know and love. So with that being said, let me know how you guys will feel about this, because I know this isn't an opinion I share, but there's a lot of people, for example, Coefficient, who, if you watch his YouTube channel, has thrown around a Fate fighting game, and I think it's a big enough franchise that it could bring a significant portion of people into the FGC, and also interest enough people just because of how diverse and how different the characters look in comparison to other characters from different series. I think it would be a great collaboration in between French Bread, Arc Systems, and the people who produce that series. So let me know your opinions on that. Moving on to number 2, the Soulborn franchise. I know a lot of you are looking at me very crooked right now, but let me explain this. The Soulborn franchise has a lot of wonderful characters, including characters that you just run across on your adventures, on top of the many bosses that you fight, like Knight Artorias, Gerham, the First Hunter, Maria of the Astral Clock Tower, and so many more tragic characters that we come across. I believe these characters could fit within a fighting game, and I'm going to tell you how. The game will basically play somewhat similarly to Soul Calibur Cross Samurai Showdown. It would be an easy to pick up 3D fighter, very simple buttons, horizontal slashes, vertical slashes, kicks, and a button for dodging and or either blocking. And on top of that, your specials would do super punishing damage, kinda like how they do in Samurai Showdown, where level 3 in Samurai Showdown will take off damn near 90% of your health. It's kind of ridiculous. So this game is going to be all about spacing, blocking, parrying, and punishing characters when they do the wrong thing. And I think a lot of Soulsborn people who don't traditionally play fighting games would jump on with this idea, because it kind of keeps within the same vein of the series of persisting through trial and error to eventually figure out a strategy that works for you and apply that strategy to this certain person that you're trying to beat. So I definitely feel like this would be a very, very unique game, something that I don't think will personally ever happen, but I do believe that if it did, it would be one of the greatest things to happen to fighting games, in my personal opinion. I just believe that this concept is that unique that it just may work. So let me know how you feel about the Soulsborn franchise eventually getting their own fighting game. Moving on, the Tales of series. The Tales of series, in my opinion, is within the top 5 JRPG series as of the current moment right now, with Xenoblade Chronicles, Final Fantasy, Persona, and Dragon Quest, with Dragon Quest 11 releasing very recently. I definitely believe it deserves to stand in that place, with other series like Star Ocean and Phantasy Star kind of falling off in recent years. But enough of that ranting. This series has a great focus on the characters that you meet and interact with throughout the game. Not only the cast of characters that you go through the game with, like characters like Jude and Mila from Xillia, Velvet from Berseria, Yuri from Vesperia. There are so many wonderful characters within this series, and that is one of the main things that have kept people coming back to the series, just because of how well crafted their characters are and how they bounce off of each other. So personally, if they were going to make a Tales of fighting game, I would really love to see a game game similar to maybe Marvel vs. Capcom and even Dissidia NT, where there's some type of team aspect to the gameplay, because it's very character focused, very relationship focused when it comes to this series and the characters within it. So I definitely feel like there would need to be a team aspect when it comes to a fighting game for this series. And just imagining all the possible combinations, like characters like Elise interacting with Velvet, Jude meeting a character like Yuri. The hilarity and the unique interactions and perspectives bouncing off of each other could make for a really good story mode and just entertaining moments in their win quotes and poses. So let me know, how would you feel about the Tales of series getting their own fighting game? Moving on to number 2, Hunter x Hunter and Yu Yu Hakusho. I know a lot of you guys are saying I'm cheating right now, but since these two are made by the same person, I believe we can kind of cheat a little bit on my own list. I personally feel that Hunter x Hunter and Yu Yu Hakusho separately do not have enough characters to have a really good roster overall, because let's say if the game came off with 18 characters for a base roster and then you had DLC after that, I definitely feel like both of these series will start scraping some of the mid tier and maybe even the bottom tier very quickly. Not to say that these series don't have great characters, but once you start getting past the main cast and some of the villains, or let's say antagonists for their various arcs, you start scraping past a lot of like mid tiers and people that I don't know if you could possibly justify them being put in the game over other people. But if you were to combine these two series into one game, I believe that it would work very well, and the format for this game would definitely be a one-on-one fighter, but it would definitely take cues from Guilty Gear and Dragon Ball FighterZ, maybe being simple to pick up but very hard to master like Dragon Ball FighterZ is. And just based off of my own personal feelings about how I feel like these two series have been shafted in the video game realm, in my personal opinion, and that is because Dragon Ball Z has too many fighting games to name off the top of my head. Naruto has a few, Bleach has a couple, even by this point My Hero Academia actually has a fighting game at this point. And it's kind of ridiculous that while Yu Yu Hakusho did have one fighting game, it wasn't really the best, and 2, Hunter x Hunter, from what I know, has never had their own fighting game. They've only made appearances in things like J vs All Stars, which kind of sucks, and I feel like it's very disrespectful to Hunter x Hunter in general. So I definitely do feel that there's a portion of people in the anime community and in the FGC who would very much love to play these characters in a versus format in the fighting game, and I think it would be amazing to see how much support that this series still has, because there are plenty of people even till this day who get super excited as soon as a new Hunter x Hunter chapter drops. So hopefully we could get a game like this, and I feel like it would do very well. And last but not least, you thought I wasn't going to mention this series, but I am, Kingdom Hearts, because if you do not know, Kingdom Hearts was eventually going to get a fighting game, which ended up turning into Final Fantasy Dissidia, because the story that was given to us was that Disney apparently did not want Disney characters in their game enacting violence upon humanoid looking characters, even though that argument kind of doesn't make sense, because in the games Donald and Goofy help you fight Organization 13. There are plenty of humanoid looking enemies that you fight as the Heartless and the Nobodies throughout Kingdom Hearts' first 2 games, not to mention all the other games in the series that don't even have a number. But I think Disney may allow this to happen, mainly because Kingdom Hearts in the last couple of years have been delving into some darker aspects through the mobile games, even in Kingdom Hearts 3. And if you have not beat Kingdom Hearts 3 at this point, I'm going to tell a really big spoiler, so skip to this time right here. If you're still here in 5 seconds, that's on you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, where everybody dies and Sora has to basically revive them. And on top of that, since 2015, Square Enix has been releasing novels of the various Kingdom Hearts games, and if you have read those novels, which I have only read the first 2 of them, they actually do add some somewhat darker aspects and undertones to the games and the series overall that we wouldn't really get to experience playing the game if they had an E rating. So it could be possible that Disney is kind of loosening their reins with Kingdom Hearts, and maybe will allow them to do a couple of things here and there outside of just the regular old Kingdom Hearts games, and possibly that could end up being a fighting game. And personally for me, I would just want this to be a simplistic arena fighter similar to Dissidia 1, not really Dissidia 2 because I didn't enjoy that game personally, and I feel like all of these characters have more than enough moves and unique fighting styles to justify them having fully fleshed out movesets and not needing to be paired up with each other in order to make a really good experienced arena fighter. With that being said, let me know your opinions on this down below, and how do you feel about my list and some of my picks and reasonings for this. If you have a TV show, anime, book, or whatever you seem to like, and if you feel like that product deserves a fighting game, let me know your opinions. Let me know why you believe that down below, and let me know what type of game would it be. What would it be similar to? Street Fighter, Tekken, Soul Calibur? Let me know. But with that being said, it has been your boy Skipx, and I am out.